Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now in today's video, we're going to be going over essentially my retirement plan with cryptocurrency and decentralized finance. However, I'm not just going to be talking about in my circumstance. I'm going to be going over some strategies which you can utilize in DeFi, cryptocurrency, and outside of that, right? We're not just going to be covering DeFi and not just going to be covering DeFi and crypto, but also how to essentially build that initial pot and how to retire with DeFi and crypto, because of course you have to build up that wealth first before you can then use that to pay your lifestyle. Now look, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am massive into personal finance and making money, hence whilst I'm in DeFi and passive income, right? So the biggest thing in my opinion, and the highest sort of goal of being able to be free and freedom in life, is having your lifestyle looked after without having to work for that. So having your investments, your yield, pay for your entire lifestyle, whether that's pay for your mortgage, pay for literally every single bill that you have every single month, is taken care of by your low, medium, and high risk investments, which we're going to cover all of that in a second, and my sort of allocation for that, and how I would go about, first of all, building that initial wealth. Second of all, how to actually keep that, because lots of people always talk about how to make money, whether that's online, whether that's offline, careers, etc. Everyone talks about how to make this money, but it's never talked about how to maintain that money. Okay, once you've got that money, that's great, but how much of that can you store? So a lot of what we're going to talk about in the initial stages are going to be essentially setting aside money to invest, okay, and just start building up these habits. Now, of course, look, everyone's at a different stage in life. You could be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old watching this, or you could be 55, 60 years old watching this. Whatever it is, just take these take this information and tailor it to your sort of circumstances, okay? I completely understand, and I'm not ignorant to the fact that everyone's situation is completely different. I understand that we're all in different parts of the world, and I am privileged just by being born in the UK. If you're born in a first world country, you are privileged, okay? Just being born in a first world country is such a privilege alone. And, it's not easy, but it's simple to make money. It's not easy at all. It's very difficult, but it's simple. So we're going to go over these strategies right now. So essentially the first thing is obviously building that initial pot, okay? Let's say you need 100K a year, right? Let's just give, and again, everyone's going to need something different. So take that number that you need every single year and reverse engineer it. For some people that may be 50,000, for some people that may be 100,000, for some people you may even be able to live off of 20K a year, depending on where you are in the world and depending on your expenses and how you want to go about it. Because there's a massive movement, I'm sure people have heard, called the FIRE movement, where, I can't remember what it's called, the FIRE movement, Financial Independence, Retire Early, I believe it's called, where people are willing to literally live in a hut, right, in the middle of nowhere, spend $500 a month and live on that. Well, that's not my strategy. If your plan is to do that, then fair enough, but that's not for me, right? I want to have a nice lifestyle paid for by my yield. So let's take the $100,000 a year level, okay? If you're going to retire, you want to enjoy that, right? So let's take 100K. That will allow you to live pretty much anywhere you like in the world, and live pretty nicely with 100K a year. Okay, so let's take that 100K a year number. Now, in DeFi and crypto, you can very, very easily make 15, 20% per year yield. Okay, now 10% is super easy to do. You can literally sign up to one of these platforms, which I'm going to discuss in a minute, dump some money in there, and you'll start making 10% a year easily, right? You can easily generate between 15 to 20% a year in DeFi, and that is just pretty conservative. Even on stable coins you can generate that, which we're going to go over in a second as well. So 15 to 20% a year, you need 100K a year, you can work that out. Let's just take the number $1 million, okay? I know that gives us some leeway. 100K a year is only 10% of that, so you can pretty much easily make that within DeFi, no issue. So let's just take the 1 million. Now, I know 7 figures is a very scary number for some people. It is, but it's so achievable, okay? You can't limit your thinking and box yourself in by thinking that $1 million is unreachable. It is very reachable, depending on, there's a mixture of working hard to get that money. Of course, there's a lot of hard work that goes in. You also have to be very strategic and have to be smart about how you go about building that wealth. Because to get to $1 million just by trading your time for money, it's going to take many years of saving that. What you would want to do is trade your skill set, build a high income skill, whether that's sales, whether that's, what I done, I went down the marketing route, whether that's sales, marketing, being in real estate, you can make some massive commissions on that. Build a high income skill and then go ahead and market that to the marketplace, whether that's through a 9-to-5 job, whether that's through your own business and starting up a company. Now, again, this will also depend on your circumstances. If you have kids and a family that you have to look after, starting a business is a lot riskier than it is if you're, early 20s living at home in your parents' house. So maybe start a business if you can allow it. If you have an emergency fund, then potentially starting a business could be a good idea. Getting a 9-to-5, being a freelancer, that can also be massive. And essentially you need to offer your skill set to the marketplace, and you will get paid very nicely if you can learn how to sell yourself. Being presentable and learning how to sell yourself to the marketplace is massive. So learning an income skill, offering that to the marketplace. Just look around, okay? You've got sales, which is, you can pay a hell of a lot of money for sales if there's commission on top of that. Marketing as well is massive. Online digital marketing, and that's the route that I went down. I own a marketing agency. You've got, being in real estate, which again comes down to sales. So learning one of these skills, which are highly paid, where, there's quite a bit of work in the initial stages, but once you've done all that work, there's a massive momentum and it's a snowball effect. Once you put the work in initially, you then start to build up. Okay. Now, if you're in a job as well, that's perfect. Okay. But lots of people that talk about making money and retiring look down on 9-to-5s and say it's not a bad idea, it's a waste of time. Look, I don't think that a 9-to-5 is a waste of time. I actually think it's a great idea depending on your circumstances and where you're at in life. But having a 9-to-5 is not a bad thing. Okay, don't even think that it's a bad thing that you have to work a job. Okay, it's not. It's actually provides stability, which some people love, that stability, knowing exactly how much money is coming in your bank every single month and going out, which is completely fine. However, those types of jobs, unless you're sort of in a CEO position, which again takes years and years and years and years and years to get there, then it will take years and years and years and years and years to build up a sizable amount of money. We're talking the $1 million mark here. So, but if you like that, perfect. It may just take a bit longer to get there, or maybe with your 9-to-5, if it doesn't require as much effort to do the work in the day, maybe start a side hustle on the side. Okay, it really just depends on what that type of job is and what your circumstances are. So find something where you can start to make money. Okay, most of you watching this will probably have a job or a business or whatever. So once you've got that, you've got some income being in here. The next thing is to really start to go ahead and put aside some money. Okay, it doesn't matter how small or big it is, whether you're making $500 a month or whether you're making $500,000 a month. Put away a sum of money each month, just a percentage, whatever you can afford, whether that's 10%, 15%, 20%, 30%, 50%, whatever you can afford. Okay, live, once your necessities are paid for, take a percentage out of that and then go ahead, or take a percentage out of what you've got left and put that towards investments. Okay, lock it away, put it in a MetaMask account, put it in a Bitcoin blockchain wallet and just store it away. Put it in your ledger and keep the ledger locked away in a safe or something so you can't touch it, right? Just get this percentage of income and then put it away. It's just building a habit at this stage. If you're not used to investing, you're not used to putting money away, then just going ahead and starting to invest some money and build up that habit, because that's massive, okay? Because if you try and build this habit later on in life, it's very, very difficult to make it stick. So the younger you are, the quicker you can really start to build this habit. So there you go. And look, none of this is financial advice. This is just my own opinion and kind of what I've done so far. So yeah, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. Be very careful about what you're investing in DeFi and crypto, because it's the riskiest stuff in the world. But look, building that initial pot is massive. So having an income source, okay, learn a high income skill and then offer that to the marketplace, you have an income there. Take a percentage of that and start putting it away. Okay, now you have this. It's time to really maximize these gains. So now you have this, 10, 20%, you've been putting it away for a while. It's now time to start earning on that money. Now, what can you do? Well, there's lots of different ways you can do that. You can go ahead and chuck it in the stock market, put it in the S&P 500 and, receive an annual yield of 8% a year, which is pretty safe, right? Well, so to speak. I personally think there's going to be a massive recession coming over the next few years, which is going to be the worst we've ever seen. So yeah, I'm not putting money in the stock market right now. I have a tiny amount of exposure to the stock market, but that's it. So start putting this money away, and what can you do with that? Well, there's a few things, and we're going to discuss them right now. First of all is going ahead and chucking it into some blue chip cryptos. Now, during this we're in a bearish market right now. I'm not saying we're full bear market yet, But this is sort of coming down. Now, what do I think is going to happen here? I personally do think that we're starting to come down a bit. But, putting some money into Bitcoin and Ethereum are probably very, very good bets for, let's say, 6, 7, 8, 10 years time. People always ask me, look, Jack, should I invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum right now? Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't advise that. But in my opinion, if you're wanting to hold this for 5, 10 years plus, anytime you have spare cash, chucking it in isn't a bad thing. So buying some of these blue chip cryptos is a good idea. What I would do is I would split that money up into a few different sections. You've got high risk, medium risk, and low risk. Okay. In the high risk category, this is going to be our DeFi degen plays. The medium risk is going to be the blue chips, and the low risk is going to be stable coins. So putting some in the medium risk category here, which I would probably allocate, I don't know, you can work out the percentages depending on what you're comfortable with, okay? But allocate some of that into some of these blue chips, whether that's holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe some Solana, maybe some Terra Luna, maybe some Avalanche. Polkadot could be a good play as well. Let's see what else we've got here. Phantom is probably another good play. There's a bunch of these that you can probably stick some money into and have a kind of safer allocation there. So, those aren't a bad idea. So holding some of these blue curve is another fantastic play there. But holding some of these blue chip cryptos in that medium risk is probably good to start with. Again, it's the lowest kind of risk that we're going to see in crypto, and it starts to build up again that habit of just, kind of investing a certain amount each month and putting that to one side for your future. So now that we have that underway, next thing is to look at these degen plays. So what I would, again, and in the degen play category, there's kind of different risk levels, right? You've got nodes, which I would say are probably high risk. You've then got some of these lower risk yield farms, which have been out for a while, such as, we've got this one here, Liquid Driver. Okay, I would say Liquid Driver is a lower risk yield farm. This is still very much in the high risk category, but it's a lower risk. And the reason I say that is because this Liquid Driver is a very reputable token, a very reputable farm here. And I mean, look, you can go ahead and farm Liquid Driver and Phantom for 94% annually. You can go ahead, there's here where you can farm Phantom and USDC for 51% annually. So if you're holding some Phantom tokens, you may as well stick them on one of these where you only partner 50% Phantom, 50% stablecoin, and you can earn 51% on that, which is insane. Ethereum to Phantom, MIM, which is another stablecoin, to Phantom, ICE to Phantom, Frax, Spell, Pills, all of these coins you can get, a lot of APY on this. Like you've got 94% APR, 62%, 44%. So this is a very reputable kind of farm here on the Phantom blockchain. Okay, you then got another one, which is again very similar to the Phantom blockchain, called Beethoven. Beethoven X, right? This is another one here where you can earn, 69% a year, 41% a year, which is again Phantom and Phantom and USDC, which are partnering up, 30% USDC, 30% Phantom, and you earn 41% a year on that. So here's another reputable kind of yield farm here. But bear in mind, the reason this is in the kind of medium risk sort of category within DeFi is because you're pairing it with one of these coins. You're pairing it with Phantom, and if we take a look at the price of Phantom, we can kind of see here, if we take a look at the max time frame, you can see the highest, the all-time high for Phantom is roughly about $3 something, right? It's not loading right now. And we're currently sat at 160, 170. So if you like this chain long term, I do like Phantom, I do believe in the chain, then this could be a good play. So sticking some, and look, again, it doesn't have to be Liquid Driver and Beethoven, it can be any yield farm that you find reputable and that you like. You can go ahead and chuck some funds in there. Another one which is quite high risk that we've seen come out is potentially this one called the Animal Farm on the Binance Smart Chain. Now there is over $300 million in this thing, and if we go to some of these farms, I haven't got my wallet connected, so I don't think it will tell me their APRs. But I mean, you can put this dogs to BUSD. Dogs is one of their core tokens for 300% a year. If you come over here to the pig pen, you can deposit pigs and then you earn BUSD every day. So there's another one you can jump into, which again has $316 million in total value locked. So there's a lot of different routes that you can go down here. Okay, another one is going to be some of the node projects, which is going to be Cubo Money is my pick here. You guys know why. I've made many videos on Cubo and I am part of the team. So Cubo, you've got Sins Finance, you've got some others that are coming out, Emerald nodes, you've got Vapor Node, Strong Block, which is a pretty reputable node project. So these node projects, again, are probably in the higher risk category for DeFi. So you've got low risk, which is holding some of the DeFi native tokens, You've got low risk in the crypto category, holding stable coins. You've got medium risk holding blue chips, and then you've got high risk, which is when we start to come over to decentralized finance and putting some money into these farms and protocols. So as you're kind of building, okay, now this isn't a video on, you know, how to do research, on how to do analysis on when to sell your positions or anything. This is just how I would go about using DeFi as a tool to retire. So looking at some of these pools, knowing when to exit and all that good stuff is something for another video, right? So you've got these mediums, and then you've got the low risk medium, which as you're in these projects, okay, even if we take a look at the price. And now one quick tip is to try and get in as early as you possibly can with a lot of these projects. The reason I say that, and if you can even get in at whitelist, which by the way, link down below to my premium Discord server where you can go ahead and check out the premium Discord server. We actually give away whitelist spots in there. So if you can jump in at whitelist, for example, Cubo whitelist here, you know, you could jump in at 50 cents per Cubo. This thing listed at $1 on, you know, the free open market a month ago, and we're now sat at $18, pretty much $18 per Cubo token, which is an 18x in a month. So if you can jump into these things, now of course not all of them do this, there's going to be winners and losers, but if you can jump into a project like this, or we've got this one which is just released called Beefy Finance, which again is just released literally yesterday. This has done nearly a 10x since launch. I mean, you know, people that managed to get on pre-sale got in at $2.50 per token. We're now sat at $23 here. Yes, this thing did go up to about $112 yesterday, but that was the initial pump, and now it's kind of stabilizing around the $20 level, which I kind of expected here. But even with this, you know, you've done a 10x within the space of 2 weeks. So jumping into these solid projects early, now that you can, as you get more experience with crypto and DeFi, you can sort of predict which ones are going to do well in terms of Alexa, in terms of how things are doing. You kind of, like, there's no way of saying, I mean, it could look like a very good project and end up rug pulling or just flopping because there's not enough, whatever. But as you get more experience, you can kind of tell, kind of sentiment on a project and get a feeling for it, okay, as you have more experience and have more conviction here. Okay, so let's move on to our next category, which is going to be low risk. Now, as you're in Cubo, as you're in Alexa, as you're in the Animal Farm, Liquid Driver, Beethoven, the next thing, this will sort of allow you to continue building your wealth. You have a nice crypto bull run. Bitcoin goes to $70,000, Ethereum goes to $10,000, Liquid Driver shoots up to $100 a token, Beats token shoots up to, you know, $10 a token. The Animal Farm dog shoots up to $500. This just shoots up to $1,000. Cubo jumps up to over $100. Alexa jumps up to $1,000, whatever it is, right? You have a nice crypto bull run that is going to just increase your net worth x times, okay? Like an insane amount. Now the next thing is to protect that wealth. Now you've built that wealth, it's now time to protect it, okay? Because yes, building it is one thing, and growing it in these riskier projects is one thing. But if you're risking, let's say $10,000 versus $50,000, it's a complete, or 10,000 versus 100,000, or 10,000 versus a million. It's a very, very different ball game. So now we need to come and start to protect that wealth rather than focus on growing it. So how do we do that? Well, there's a few things, and we're going to go over that right now. So the biggest thing that I would focus on is going to be stable coins. Yes, that is right. When you have $1 million, you don't want to have all of that in these riskier plays. So taking a look at this Yearn Finance here, this is a pool where you can start to earn some yield on stablecoins. Now if you come into here right now, I've got about 2k on this wallet on here. Now these APRs change all the time. A couple of days ago this was over 10% a year, a couple of days ago this was over 10% a year, a couple of days ago this was over 10% a year, right? Right now you're offering 3%, 2% and 6%, whatever, but you know, these do go up and down all the time. So earning 10% a year on average in Yearn Finance is very nice. However, I wouldn't just stick $1 million in here, boom, your entire net worth in Yearn Finance. I would not do that. Second thing that we're going to talk about is a more trusted, some people like it, some people don't. It's going to be Anchor Protocol. Now, if we go to, let's get rid of this. If we go over to Earn here, I've only got like $300 on here in this wallet, right? I do have another wallet with more than that on, but this is, just for demonstration purposes, right? With this, you come in here, deposit the Terra native stablecoin, which is UST, okay? And then you go in here and deposit that. Then you start to earn daily passive income. So right now, with my whopping $300, I'm earning a massive 17 cents per day, which is just getting added straight back into my deposit, which is compounding. So that's going to earn about 61 bucks over the next year, and it will just add to that. And then you can see right now the APY is currently set at 19.44% per year. Now, people have done some calculations and showed right now that around 17% is roughly stable. So this will go down over time, but right now paying 20% a year, that's massive. You could chuck $1 million in here and make 200 grand a year almost, which is insane. But again, I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Second thing that we're going to look at is Beefy Finance. Again, this is another yield aggregator, which you can then go ahead and earn some yield on some stablecoins. 6% here, 7%, 10% there. That good stuff. It's not loading for some reason. But yeah, you get the idea, right? You can come ahead into Beefy and it will have, let's go to the AVAX app because it looks like I'm on the AVAX network here. So we can go over to here, right? And we can go and find this MIM to USDC LP is currently paying 10% a year. USDT to USDC is paying 20% per year. Okay, you've got my DAI USDC and USDT, which is stablecoin, 12%, 11%, 16%, right? 6% there, 6% there, another 10%, right? Another 5%, 4%. So you get the idea, right? There's a lot of yield that can be done in here. Okay, now the other thing that I'm going to show you guys is going to be Nexo and Celsius. Now these are CFI, centralized finance. These are insured by actual companies. One more thing to mention on Anchor is that there is actually insurance. Where is it? Where is the insurance? I can't actually remember. Govern? No, it's not govern. Earn. Where's the insurance? Oh yeah, protect your deposit. So you've actually got some. You've got insurance against this. So if UST ever drops below $1, you can go ahead and insure that by unslashed. If you're worried about the smart contract risk, you can insure that by these three companies here. You can go ahead and insure your deposit. So if you've got a sizable sum in here, then you can go ahead and insure that for more peace of mind. But Celsius, just to touch on this, guys, I have a link in the description. If you deposit on Celsius right now, you get about $50 for free if you sign up and deposit using my code in the description. You get about $50 for free. So that's a pretty nice added bonus there. And then Nexo, again, if we go over to earn, it should tell us the current rates without having to create an account or log in here. Yeah, so if we go down here, then if you earn in kind, okay, you can earn 10% on USDC, 10% on USDT, 10% on DAI, 10% on USDP. If you have pounds, like Great British Pounds, you can go ahead and just deposit your pounds straight from your bank, which is just insane. 18% on UST right here. However, if you then earn in the native Nexo token, you can earn an additional 2% per year, which is 12% a year on stablecoins, which is crazy, right? So there you go. You can go ahead and make about 12% a year on stablecoins in here. Celsius is very similar, around 8% a year on stablecoins, I do think. Let's see, do we have, yeah, let's see here. So yeah, about 4% a year on DAI here. If we take a look at some others, TUSD, you can see 8% a year. So yeah, so what I would do is when you have that initial bag, you can go ahead and have a look at Curve as well, these Curve pools. You've got 3 pool here, which is earning, there are additional rates here based in Curve, but I'm not signed up. So you can go ahead and here you get UST, you're earning 6% a year there on Curve. So there's a bunch of different options, right? So really the goal is to build a high income skill, okay, offer that to the market, get paid generously for that, which I understand if you're in different countries, it may take a bit longer to do it. However, it's very possible. I've seen it with my own eyes happen many times over. Yes, there's a bit of luck involved, but to get that luck, you just have to put yourself in the right opportunities to receive that, right? You have to get in the way of luck, if that makes sense. So there you go. Build an high income skill, offer that to the market, start putting away a percentage of your earnings. Once that percentage is building up and you've got a nice, a nice 5-figure portfolio, whatever it is, then you can start to jump around in some of these DeFi, start allocating that, whether it's $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. You can start allocating that between some of these riskier, high risk, holding crypto, massively high risk, some DeFi stuff, some nodes. And then once you've eventually built up to that massive pot, which is very, very achievable long term with crypto, just do your own research and just throw yourself in it. Okay, you can't make $1 million if you're just gonna do it half-heartedly, right? You can't. You have to throw yourself in it, get deep in. And I understand people have commitments, but if you want to make it, you have to make it happen, right? So throw yourself in, do all the research you can, all the learning you can, okay, and there you go. You can eventually get to that mark, and then you can start to distribute it around some of these stable farms here. I would still recommend having some exposure into some of these other riskier markets, just not as much, maybe 5% of your net worth. But when you get to $1 million, that's still 50K, right, across some of these, which you can make another 100% a year on, right, which is an additional, almost 50K a year in income there. So, and if you catch a bear market, it's 50K of your net worth. It's not a massive deal, or the rewards even is not a massive deal. But if you're in a bull market, I mean, that 50% a year or 100% a year could easily turn into 200, 300, 400% a year, right, in rewards. So that's what I would look at doing. Now, again, it's not easy, but guys, we have these conversations and talk about this a lot in the premium Discord server. So take a look in the description if you're interested in that, because it's one of my favorite topics to touch on. I love talking about this stuff. So if you guys like this video, I know it was a very long one, comment down below, retire in all caps if you have enjoyed and if you've made it to the end. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know down below of what you think of this. Do you like this strategy? Eventually, you want as much exposure to stablecoins as possible so that you can then, essentially just retire from that stablecoin yield. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Let me know down below what you thought of it. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you want to, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.